is up, Kingston? Welcome back to another Napoleon Total War 3 battle. Now we have a very special treat for you guys. For those of you who love Russia, we are bringing, well, not me necessarily, Russia is bringing the smallest army I think I've ever seen when it comes to Russian armies. They are bringing less troops than anyone else. They're bringing a very elite build. You got some Russian Guard, some heavier cav units, and then more Russian Guard. Total, I think, of 4 infantry, 3 cav, 2 artillery, and a general. Now, they are being supported by Piedmont and the Reich, as well as Austria. Now, I've not seen this faction very often, Piedmont. I don't know a lot about them, so promise I'll do some research on them. Probably should have done that before I started, but, you know, Kingston's never prepared for anything. Now, they're going up against 2 French, Denmark, and Poland. Poland is a faction that's always fun to see on the battlefield. Usually is a smaller army as well, so this is going to kind of balance out the 2 factions. It'll be interesting to see what this Polish Legion brings. Now, Denmark is going to be bringing a lot of infantry. Most likely, that is kind of what they do. And France, both French factions, it's a toss-up. I mean, it is, you know, the 1809 to 1812 French, and then, of course, we have Ney. So, Napoleon, Ney, that's the only real French players you really got to care about, you know. So we have, I've seen this map played before, and it's very exciting to see it from a different angle, see what's going to happen this time. We have some amazing hills, to kind of dominate this landscape. This would be epic. So there is a village, a 4-pointer that looks like this elite French build. This elite French army is, sorry, not French. I don't know what's wrong with me. Russia. Elite Russian. Oh, man. It's going to be a long match. That's for sure. But as I was saying, Russia is sending over 2 of their units over here, sending 2 more over here. These are the Grenadier Guard. Actually, no, wait, they're just Guard. My bad. Actually, I think these are lights. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe these are light infantry. They can form square, which is excellent. Poland is the first to show, to show their face. This is being a rough recording, oh my goodness. They have some lights who are falling in behind them, trying to move up together. It looks like France over here is starting to show their face a little bit. Like over by the Reich, they have some chasseurs cheval, and some lancers. But over here is kind of where it's going to maybe hopefully get a little spicy. I mean, we got some lancers pushing up. Looks like maybe they're hoping to catch Austria unawares, but Austria was aware. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't do that. So they're gonna charge in maybe. These guys are gonna form square, as you can see. And not get a single shot. That's okay though. Don't feel embarrassed. And so far, nothing's really happened. Oh, a general is getting... Oh, no, mind. This is just his... Yeah, it's a general cav unit. It's getting hit by some artillery from... I don't know. Probably France. Can't see it yet. Over here, the Reich is kind of pushing up. It caused France to fall back. And Poland is kind of pushing up all by themselves. Like, they are getting very, very, very gutsy with their pushes. Russia's actually forming up to meet them. They can form squares, so they know they can, you know, do something here. And France may be actually pushing, falling back to this river, possibly. The Reich is pushing up a lot of cav without infantry support, which would be very interesting. And Austria is taking this hill. Very dominant place, has their artillery now in an excellent field of fire. Yeah, the hill, they can shoot at anything that comes their direction. So there looks like they're starting to shoot at... I don't know what they're shooting at, to be honest. So Poland, I think, is going to be going for this LOC. And France... Russia is taking it. Break them windows. And they decided to push their infantry over here because that's lights with some cav backing them. That's a deadly combination. Over here, the Reich is definitely still pushing with their cav. We have some, well, cavalry from Piedmont. Dragoons, the like such, help and push with the Reich. And unless Denmark gets over here to help out Poland, Poland's kind of on their own a little bit. They have some really good infantry over here. So they have a smaller build as well, investing a lot of money into their light skirmishers. So it'll be very interesting how they use those. Better keep the cav close or else it's going to be a deadly combination here. Now France and the Reich are going to be sitting here staring each other across this river. No one wants to make the first move. France is going to wait for their artillery, probably infantry, before making a push. And this looks like a mistake. The cav has fallen back a little bit. Austria actually has their cav up a little bit. So these lights, I would be very cautious with these lights. You do not want to lose these skirmishers. Because this is a C8. These guys are fast moving. If they do a charge, they probably will lose a little bit. But they're going to take out some skirmishers. I guarantee it. In theory. Getting kind of some fire put on them. Losing a couple men. And that's going to hurt. They need to shift some skirmishers to engage these skirmishers. Definitely. Over here, it looks like the Reich is kind of making a little bit of a push. You got to be careful, though. I mean, your cav's probably not as good as this French cav. Actually, look at this. They're pushing way too much. This cav is setting up. Oh, and there is a bayonet charge. These lights have realized they pushed up a little bit too far without their cavalry. Of course, now Poland is going to try to intercept them. And they maybe can save their skirmishers. They only lost 39. And, yep, they were able to save their skirmishers. Only lose a couple skirms, so that is okay on them. Got some grenadiers forming up as well. And it looks like Poland's actually going to be making a push on Austria, which I'm very, very surprised. Then again, Denmark is showing up, so if Austria can't defeat this Polish force quickly enough, they are going to be in trouble because Denmark is right around the corner. Piedmont is probably going to be squaring up against a French faction. Now, if the Reich can push on a French flank, Piedmont and the Reich can push all at once. Looks like Piedmont's sending over some cavalry, trying to maybe encircle this small... Oh. So we got some lights here who are going to be firing, dealing some damage on 2 units. Yeah, so wisely, I think Russia is going to fall back, try to defend this town. They have some cav backing them up. I would not try to engage this Polish force until these guys are engaged, maybe. So now we got some skirmishers who are falling back as this battle is going to get underway. And actually, Poland's going to fall back and wait for Denmark and France. Look at this. France is headed over this direction, so Piemont's kind of a little bit behind. They need to hurry up because Austria could definitely get flanked here. We got some units already opening up fire. Opening up fire on Poland. And the skirmishers setting up. This is an excellent use of skirmishers, kind of using the range that you have as an advantage. And I have infantry to back them up. And hopefully Russia can maybe do something over here. Like I said, Piedmont is sending over all of their cavalry for the most part. I think they're hoping to maybe envelop Poland. But here comes Denmark with the masses, just like Austria does. And they are bringing a mix of some decent, some okay, and some mediocre infantry. But they're mixing it pretty well with guys that can form square and... Oh my goodness. France with the masses. And France is organizing their men into line of battle. And I think now Piemont's like, oh my gosh. So it looks like actually France... I think the French alliance has opted for a swinging on the right and hitting the Allies before they can, because the Reich is so far away over here. So the Reich's going to have to be very aggressive. It looks like Russia's actually going to be sending over their elite guard to maybe try to help out here. This is a very interesting formation. So over here now, it looks like Poland making some plays on the flank. Forcing... Oh, we got some cav charging. These guys can form square, so it's going to be a gamble if they can form squares. Oh, come on, come on. Just do it. You're wasting... Oh, my goodness. Wasting a unit. This is very sad. This is so sad. Oh, my gosh. It's going to stress me out. So as you see, this battle is squaring up to be a fight on this hill. Now, Austria has the hill advantage, but they need to watch out. Because there's some Denmark cav who are setting up, some lancers setting up. Maybe going to see if they can't go for a gap in Austria's line. Austria's looking a little bit... Uh-oh. Please tell me you guys are going to form square, form square, form square. Okay, no. So, this will be very interesting. They can push on this LLC... Takes LLC, and Russia has 2 units. They have to... They are engaging 3 units of... Oh, they're actually shooting at these guys, too. They're distracting 3 units of Polish line infantry. That's an excellent diversion. Now, Poland is getting a little bit ballsy here. Sneaking around the flank. I would be very cautious about that. There's isolated, and Poland doesn't have a lot of infantry. You can't risk losing this flank. All it takes is a mass cav charge for this center, and Poland will be broken in the center. Looks like Poland is deciding they're going to opt for attacking this LOC, and Russia is going to try to probably hold. A little bit. Probably. No, they're going to fall back. If they can force Poland to get distracted on this flank with only 2 units, that is the best strat ever. Now, these here, some heavy cav from Russia... Maybe he's going to have to deal with these Polish line infantry that are trying to sneak around the flank here. Over here, artillery is just blasting Denmark as they are trying to advance on this hill. And the hill assault, guys, is going to be tough. The French alliance choosing to actually assault this hill. The Reich is going to come in late, but they're going to be the late game changer. And, of course... France can't move their cav up because the Reich is just hovering, constantly hovering, waiting to strike. Now we have a extra line. There's probably more French troops right here. I would be surprised going up against, at least Piedmont is going to be able to meet them as Denmark is pushing up on Austria, and Austria is going to be holding their ground. I love this stand they have. The artillery up on the hill. This is glorious looking. Oh, got some friendly fire there from this artillery. They make Piedmont want to reconsider. They did rout an infantry that can form square. That's an excellent target. France needs to get in this fight before Piedmont gets there and try to turn this flank, because Denmark is getting chopped to pieces by the artillery. Over here, LOC's been taken by Poland. Not really a major victory, though. This is going to be a concern. Poland pushing on the flank of Austria. And this is what I love about Napoleon Total War 3. I've seen several battles on this map. None have ever been the same. Always different. Always a treat to see what's going to happen in the next one, you know? Over here, France now trying to come to the aid of their Denmark ally as they are just getting chopped to pieces. Russia setting up some elite guard. They're just prepared. They're like, say the word. We see them. We can do it. Just say when. And here comes France now. Now, France, I don't know what they're doing. I honestly don't know what they're doing. But this artillery on this hill, this has got to be one of the best artillery positions I have seen to date. They should stop focusing on Denmark. Denmark's not the concern now. It is a French player with all of this line infantry. I mean, they can't form square, but it's a lot of line infantry, and you don't ever underestimate France. is what Wellington would say, you know. Over here, Austria is actually holding strong. They have this beautiful hill with these trees, and they are just holding. Firing down. These guys have the grove, which they're still trying to circle around, maybe try to stop Austria from being able to fight on a solid line. I still think a cav charge would be beautiful right now. I think Poland wouldn't be prepared and couldn't defend all of it. I hear someone charging in, and it looks like Russia is going in for the cav charge. Piedmont following it up because these infantry cannot form squares, so they hit them now. Oh, that could be huge. Just go for it. Just go, go, go. Nope, they are going to fall back. They routed some Denmark cav that was getting a little too close to their artillery. They did what they were supposed to. And guys, this is heating up. If you look in the mini-map, it is just boom. The Reich are just having to march. And this is a concern, guys. These guys are going to be fresh. By the time they get here, they're going to hit the flank of France, and France is still going to have to fight for them. And I think they realize that as they are going to form on this flank. I think France realizes they are going to have to take over for Denmark. Denmark is getting chewed up. Over here, we got a perfect artillery position as well. And let's be honest, this is going to be just artillery play like crazy. Poland's still pushing on this flank. We got some grenadiers, some Deutschen grenadiers, and they are the best kind of grenadiers I think you can get for Austria, in my opinion. In my inexperienced, humble opinion. But they are fighting the good fight. It's 2v3. Poland still pushing way around the flank, but Russia is going to deal with them. They're sending over some of their elite guard here. And it looks like actually Austria is breaking a little bit. Oh my goodness. They're getting chewed up as now France has taken over. Denmark is falling back, going to recuperate, be in reserve line. They've gotten chewed to pieces, and this is actually an excellent strategy. I love that they did that. You know, being like, hey, you guys are exhausted, my guys are fresh. My guys haven't fired, my guys haven't fought. Your guys are probably active. Let them rest up. We can just switch off and take on one Austrian faction that has to keep fighting. They have no one to hold. Austria has to hold this whole time. Now France sending over some cuirassiers. Do I hear someone fighting here? Nope. Now Piedmont has lined up, and they're going to be pushing up. The Reich is going to be pushing up. This is going to be an awesome battle along this whole side. Oh yeah, this is going to be epic. I love this. I'm so excited to see how this is going to turn out. Austria is not doing the greatest. They may need cav to help them out. They're sending over this elite Russian guard, and they may have to send this light infantry over to kind of back them up, because they are going to be taking on basically all of the Polish army. All of Poland. Now, they are starting to take they are really starting to put the hurt onto Denmark, and Denmark, I think, is going to fall back, let France with their masses take over, and it looks like possibly France Lancers are going to go in for a bayonet or a cav charge, calling it off when they see that, oh, they are committing. Nope, they're committing for some lights. That was an excellent strategy, making them think they aren't going to do anything, and now Poland is like, uh-oh, we got to save our lights. I would charge. Nope, they're going in. They're going for some artillery. Oh my goodness. Oh no, there's pike spikes, and this is going to be bad. For Austria, Austria's still going in. I don't know who they're going for. I think they were trying to get around these spikes, but I think Poland is going to stop them. They have set up an excellent artillery position of their own, although they maybe did a route. No, they didn't. They did hurt a couple of the artillery for Denmark. This line battle is now just being a cav charge on top of cav charge, as they did a counter charge for the guns, but they were able to save their artillery. Russia making a big saving play going in, and now they're going to be counter-charging and then pulling back. Piedmont has now set up, going toe-to-toe with France, and France is getting outflanked here. They're going to have to pull back and reform their lines. The Reich is now throwing themselves in, and the Reich has so many units that haven't even started fighting yet. Over here, Denmark, sorry, not Denmark, Austria is hurting, guys. Look at these. The 49 out of 134. This is really bad. Russia is going to have to try to make some saving plays here. Because if Poland can push this flank, they can turn it. It looks like Piedmont may be sending over some reserves to try to hold this line. This has been very tactical and very close. I love the cav play on an infantry play on each side. It looks like Denmark going in for some artillery, possibly. No, we're going in for some infantry that did not form square, and this could turn this side, and Denmark could help turn this line from Austria that is really hurting around. Turning this flank from Austria as fast as it forms up. And Russia may be having to try to back up Austria. Poor Austria. They've been holding so long.
Sir, our general is under attack.
Oh, you're not under attack, please. Don't give me that crap. Alright, so, ooh, some artillery punching in. Oh, no, man, that's just the trees. So now, Poland is getting flanked by Russia. And they're actually going to pull back as France advances with some more troops. We have some grenadiers in the line, some French in the line. My goodness, is this battle gorgeous. I love this battle. It is like a typical, realistic battle. And now I think Austria is actually falling back a little bit as France is making some mad plays here. Pushing up. Now the Reich is going to be pushing up. They have some cav from Piedmont. And where's the Reich cav? Oh my goodness, look at this. This is an epic showdown. One of the people is going to commit eventually. There's just so much cav in the back. And it looks like France is defending their flank. They're falling back. They don't want to try to go toe to toe. We have some some French cav going in maybe for some light Jaegers. But nope, some cav countercharging them, stopping them dead in their tracks. Over here, Austria has crisis averted as Piedmont is sending over some reserves. Don't friendly fire, you guys. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Okay, yeah, so Austria is going to pull back. Piedmont is like, we got this, bro. We got your flank. They are talking to each other, or if they're not, then they're just doing a great job. It looks like, did Russia go way in here? Who were they? Artillery piece. They actually routed an artillery piece. That is gorgeous. I'm keeping an eye on this, because you know cav charges. It looks like France is now sending some chasseurs cheval going in against some Austrian infantry. Nope, they're going in for some Jaegers. Or going in for the flank of these line infantry that should have formed square. And yep, they're going in for some artillery as well. Oh, come on. Austria, notice it. Notice it, please. And it is just a mosh pit of just craziness. Poland has fallen back, thankfully. And actually, we have some infantry from Russia going in for a counter-bayonet charge as Poland set in some grenadiers. Missed it, and look at this battle. It looks like France is committing to a bayonet charge here. Another cav engagement over here. You see that some heavy Austrians are going in against some heavy cav from France. Piedmont getting super close and personal, as well as the Reich. Cav, I think, is engaging some infantry over here from Denmark that could not form square, ensuring that the Reich does not move. But let's go back to the real action, as it looks like Austria is possibly breaking, and Austria and Russia are sending a ton of cav, trying to throw back these infantry. Oh my goodness. This is just insanity. This is just insanity. Oh no. Now that the French heavy cav, the cuirassiers, have punched through, they are pushing on this flank. And guys, this is just an all or nothing. France is throwing in everything they have. Poland trying to back them up. Piedmont, Austria are trying to hold here. Who is going to take this? Generals need to be inspiring the men. Over here, France is starting to break in the center, and they're going to have to be very, very careful here. They don't want to lose that flank. At the same time, it looks like Austria and Russia and Piedmont held. Barely, but they held. That is such a crazy stand. Oh my goodness, they held. Although, Poland is still right on their heels, so possibly not. They need to be very careful. They need to throw some guys in. There's no reserves here. France can push up following up that decisive victory, as they are causing Austria to break. An Allied general died? Oh no. Austria lost their general, and now Austria is crumbling on this hill. Austria is crumbling. France is following this up with some more infantry trying to push on this disorganized line. And they're doing some bayonet charges. Poland is trying to just follow this up. Piedmont is still trying to hold, but France has finally broken through on this side with some cav and successive bayonet charges following it up. Now over here, still nothing happening with the cav. The Reich is pushing up. Denmark, having rested up their men, is going to try and hold against the Reich. And Piedmont now, oh my goodness, some cav from France going in against Piedmont, and Piedmont is breaking. The Reich has some reinforcements, though. They are going to try and hold this line as Piedmont is starting to break. And none of these guys can form square, and that is the one problem. They have nothing over here. The Reich had all their cav over here, and now they're starting to maybe perhaps realize what a bad idea that was. It looks like Austria has managed to somewhat reform their lines. Piedmont is falling back with Russia, maybe trying to save this battle still. They have some heavy Russian cav that is trying to stop this French push. And over here, it is just madness. Some cav going in, trying to stop this French cav push so they can at least try to reform their lines. Finally getting some heavy and light cav over here, trying to quickly, decisively stop this massive push that France has started. Now, the beautiful thing, guys, is France can't form square either. Okay, I'm sorry. The audio, I think, is just glitching out because of how bad this is. Here we go. Fixed it. And now they got to reform. The Reich needs to reform, too. They really need to reform. They have a bunch of infantry that they try going across. They have decided not to. I think they are going to reform their lines. And the cav charges from the Reich are able to save this slightly. These infantry should fall back. They're going to get slaughtered. And guys, look at this just slaughter on this hill. Russia is trying to help out as best they can, but Poland is just making mad pushes here. Pushing up some lancers, probably trying to go for some artillery. It looks like a general is trying to catch them out. They're going in for, going in for some Russian artillery. Gonna chop them to pieces here. And the coalition is in retreat. Some cav from France is not letting them fall back. Doing some bayonet charges. Trying to hit the backs of the Reich as they are falling back. Piedmont still has part of their army. So, but they have lost this hill. Austria is basically non-existent at this point. And the fight for this hill, as you can see, was bloody and finally done with. The hill is gone. France has successfully taken it. Now, this is something you don't want to disregard. I think that France is just trying to push up here and try to take out this infantry, and they're forgetting about all of this cavalry. Piedmont still making a stand here against Poland. And still trying to make a stand on this hill, trying to see if they can't stop this infantry push. Now here comes some cavalry on the back. So you can see here, this cav is just going to make a great push if they can make it a decisive charge. They can do some... Uh-oh. This cannon is going to get charged and destroyed. Denmark can still make some massive pushes here. Russia's still holding this hill. Russia has not given this up. They are determined to try and stop this flank until Puma at least can reform. I mean, after all, there were some artillery here, I think, trying to get out of here. I hear some cav charges. Pumat's going in, guys. Denmark is going in, hitting some artillery that was not being paid attention to. They're going to hit the backs of the Denmark general and this cav. This could be a huge game changer. Look at all this cavalry just rushing in. This is going to cause massive confusion in the ranks of France as cav out of nowhere is just going to strike the back lines here. The Reich's still trying to hold on this right side as Denmark is pushing. But here comes the cav. Come on. I believe in you guys. But here comes reinforcements from France. Oh, come on. I believe in you. Here we go. So, Pumont is losing some cavalry. France attacking the flank of these Pumont C3, C5s. That's going to be painful.
Our men are running, sir.
This may not pay off, unfortunately, for the coalition, as France was able to stop it. Denmark's still trying to make some pushes, as Piedmont and the Reich are going to try to hold France back. Looks like Russia is pulling back from this hill. They have done everything they can to stop this attack. And it just is so disorganized. So France is able to stop this. The Reich still has one cav unit. It's a C7, though. I believe just some dragoons. And unfortunately for the coalition, France has stopped it with some heavy cav and Denmark's heavier cav as well. They had some good reserves. Now it's just down to a line battle, which unfortunately France is definitely winning now. I love how Russia is like right next to France. Oh, we have a cav unit that's getting routed by some light infantry or some guard. Piedmont still has some infantry over here, so it'd be interesting to see if they can bring back a small victory. It looks like actually Russia is just basically trying to buy time for their allies, using the flanking maneuvers. Look at this. Let's see it. Come on. You're embarrassing me here. Get a shot or two. Well, I guess they are not going to volley. And France is going to push up on them before they can even volley off. Here we go. That's going to be painful. Alright, so still over here, the Reich has kind of reformed their lines. It's another not stagnant, but another line battle. Denmark is breaking on this left flank, so the Reich was able to hold, and now it's just a toe-to-toe, mainly with France. I mean, Denmark and Poland are kind of pretty wasted here by now. Oh, we have some guns from France that are just going to get annihilated by some cav from the Reich. Now, we have a small amount of infantry that have come back from Piedmont and Russia. But it's probably not going to be a ton, as now look at this. France is going for the throat. They are just pushing on this flank. And unfortunately, the tables got turned so fast. But over here, France is pretty weak. Now, this cav is going to charge here. These guys are forming square. That is going to really, really hurt these heavy cav. Unfortunately, they, that is going to cause them to break as they were stuck against this square formation, and then these infantry just blasted them at close range. And the Reich's actually starting to win a little bit on this right flank, but on the left flank is just trouble. Look at that. It's just trouble. Piedmont can maybe bring this back. We got the Reich now has some cav left. What they need to do is focus on this general. Hey, it's Nay. Nay, nay, nay. Come on. Come on, don't disappoint. You know Nay doesn't want to die, but you know he deserves to. And they're going to go in for a general charge. And that is going to probably cause these guys to be super dismayed. Alright, so Russia is now throwing some infantry in here. Trying to hold here. I believe they're going to break Nay. No. How? Oh, we have a Polish general who is caught out. And he's starting to be like running for the hills. This is what France should be doing, though, guys. With their infantry, they need to push for Piedmont. They need to just push. This is a weak flank. Because over here, it is not no picnic. They are not doing the greatest in their center. Their center is actually breaking. They need to readjust their line. The Reich has done an excellent job of just, like, shooting them down. Oh, Reich going in for another cav charge against some light skirmishers that, well, are caught out. And this cav can still do work. Now look at this. We got some Russian guard, and as I said, Piedmont, if they could just swing up, just push right here. You need to. You know that your lines aren't going to hold very well. And the Reich are reforming. France is really weak here. Like, really, really weak. They can definitely push here. I'm curious if they do. I mean, if they just focused all their fire right here. That'd be a beautiful thing. If they made another Napoleon Total War, another one, Napoleon Total War 2, you know, do a thing where, like, you can have units stay in the position, but they all focus fire here. I hear some cav. Do I hear cav? No? Oh, I hear infantry. Going in maybe for a bayonet charge? I'm not sure, but this artillery from Russia was managed to get away from that hill, which was a massive save. As you can see, it's kind of balancing things up. It looks like actually France going in for a bayonet charge on Piedmont. This is going to be a big problem. The Reich sending in some dragoons trying to save this flank, as well as Russia saving this flank, trying to stop this left side from caving. Piedmont just has to hold on. Look at this, though. Massive break in the center for France. And France is just not winning here. So they can still turn this around because it's... Oh, man. Piedmont's losing over here, but France is losing over here. Russia can do this. Okay, they're sending in some infantry, starting to break Poland. Poland can't hold on, and it looks like actually some heavy Russian cav did a counter charge to let Piedmont reform. The Reich going in for a cav charge of their own against some Cheval. Oof. And a general. And France is just not able to... is starting to crumble over here as well, guys. They're crumbling over here. And starting to crumble over here as their cav is going to break. And now the Reich can just strike on some of these guys that cannot form square. No, they're going for the Polish general first. This is actually looking really good for the coalition right now. Massive breakage. France just cannot keep it together. This Denmark cav would have been super useful over here as they're just starting to break. The morale's starting to waver. Just chain routing. And France over here is starting to break as well as this cav just is tenacious. Napoleon Bonaparte now himself is going to die. None of these guys can form square. None of them can. And I think this is the end of France. I think France is going to break Oh, we have some cav from Denmark going in, trying to even the odds here.
Their generals. Now they must trade.
Yep. General dead. Napoleon is dead, and so it's going to cause massive morale. Oh, what? Okay, so Denmark has some troops, unfortunately. Okay, now they are trying to stop the Reich, but Reich is sending over his cav, kind of bouncing back and forth. Russia has cav over here, so that'll be okay. Oh my goodness. This is ballsy. They're setting up literally right next to this line infantry. And now Russia is going to just sit right behind France, start firing in the back of France, and France, I think, is... yeah, massive breakage for France. Denmark is going to start breaking probably here, and I think this is a victory for the coalition. As we have some cav, yep, going in. Infantry probably going to go in, do a bayonet charge. I would tell Piedmont to send in your infantry as well. These guys cannot fight in melee if they're in a square. They will lose decisively. And as you can see, they are starting to be shaken. And chain rout from France. After Napoleon died, it was a massive chain rout. And this fight is over. They had such a solid push. He's very sad that it kind of fell apart because of that cavalry. And now it's just a couple last units from Denmark. I'm going to fast forward here. It's just a couple last units from Denmark trying to hold on this LOC, but they're probably going to break pretty quickly here. And this was an awesome battle. I loved the hill fight. I mean, that was just the coolest last stand. As you can see, just the carnage and the bloodshed. I mean, oh my gosh. Well fought on all sides. I believe this was set by Funballs, who was playing as the Russian player with just this small guard build. And I think this is about to be over. And Denmark is just going to have this battle be over by coming out and just fighting. So it's always nice when you have a player that's like, okay, I know you'll eventually take the house, and who cares about the kills? I'm just going to, come out and fight. It is nice. It's not required, of course. It's a game. You can, play how you want to. But once you know that the game is over and you've lost, it's nice when someone just, accepts the defeat. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was set in by Funballs. Only brought 887 men. Got a lot of kills considering that. I mean, everybody else had double, triple what he had, and he still got as many kills as some of them. So, well played. Actually, everybody got really solid kills. My goodness. As you can see, this artillery got 203 kills. This cav unit got 288 kills. They really pulled it off. And these lights got a ton. But, yeah. Awesome battle. Thank you guys for joining me for this battle. If you would like to see more and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It just lets you know when I post new videos, and I would appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's about it. You guys stay safe. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you all in another video.